This is Crystal with Circle Back Vintage. Thank you for joining me again. This is one of my favorite shelves because I have a piece that I found with my husband, a piece that I found on my own, something my sister gave me, an heirloom piece from my great-grandmother that she painted herself. Just this beautiful combination of all these special pieces in my life. This first piece is one of my favorite pieces that I have in my house. It's a kind of a bar set. We don't use it as often as I'd like, but it's a pretty neat piece. One of the things that I love most about this scene is taking things that have a similar feel to them, but that are in a different material. For example, this close-up, you can see the piece of art in the back has the speckling to it, but then the lucite candlesticks pull in that speckling, so it has this beautiful symmetry and begins to kind of mimic the different works. Things that you wouldn't notice right off the bat, but the more that you look at them, the more you realize how they interact with one another in a new space. This mid-century modern caddy is amazing, and I love that you can just quickly pick it up and move it to different parts of your home or outside if you need more glassware. It's just really easy and functional to have everything nicely displayed and easily movable. Ideally, I'd like to get some taller pieces for that, and then we just have some Mikasa flute glasses and just different crystal barware. Don't worry, I paid special attention to making sure that all of the glass was clean and didn't have any dust on it before I did this video. I am sure that is incredibly relatable to all of you unless you are much better at housekeeping than I am. For this shelf, I really wanted to have a little bit of calmness and everything to be more cohesive, so I stuck with just clear glass or crystal for this shelf to let the eye rest a little bit. For the roly-poly glasses, you can see how at the very end I decided to keep them all kind of grouped together, not taking up too much visual space, leaving some available airspace on the side. The purpose of that is to have it where the top shelf is grouped on either side. You're inverting it, having those glasses not take up as much space on the next row. For cohesiveness, I kept lots of the same materials, metallics, wood, and glass. Kept everything additional to a minimum to help the eye rest, but then to also make it look coordinated and functional. Moving on to the next shelf, the biggest shaker I have seen in my entire life, and somehow it made its way home. My husband, who you've seen in a few of the videos, he used to bartend, and it was one of those things that he saw it and we were both laughing at it, but then decided that whenever we have a large party at our house, it'd be a good thing to have, and we've used it on several occasions since. And my favorite piece, which I'm going to have a very hard time letting go, is the Vermouth Martini Master that is currently available for sale on our website. It's one that I am really enjoying decorating with while I have it. I thought I was pretty clever hooking the Italian corkscrew to the side of the Martini Master. It just wasn't quite right, and I wanted to make these little special groups on either side of this piece, and I think it is much better living over in that grouping. Sorry, I need to gush about the Martini Master. I think it is absolutely amazing the condition that this piece is in, that it still has all of the original pieces, still has the aerosol, whatever the little puffy thing is at the top, and that it has the original glass spoon and pick for the olives and onions. This beautiful wood trivet table is also available on Circle Back Vintage. I've decided that when I'm old, I'm going to be very sophisticated and wear a smoking jacket every day and smoke a pipe on my back porch while reading a book and drinking some coffee. This vintage Murad cigarette poster, and then the little smoking pipe with the dog holder. Just kind of started to think about a little story as to how these two pieces are interacting with one another, and the dog being inquisitive as to why this woman was riding a turtle, and just kind of going down that little story. This old Mr. Boston book was something that my grandmother gave to my husband, and it's a special piece in our set. I love those treasures that come home to you and something that a family member or a loved one has given to you, thinking about what this would mean to you. So it's certainly something that's going to be a treasured piece in our collection for a very long time. One of my favorite things to do is find alternate uses for things. This Tiki head is a pencil or pen holder. I thought it would be great to use to hold some stir sticks. These are little onions, olives, and tomato glass stir sticks. Pretty important that we add in some alcohol into the scene because it is a bar after all. So starting to incorporate the different things and the different scenes to make sure that they all make sense and cooperate with one another. Even just a slight little angle matters. Sometimes just changing the direction, turning something upside down, turning it around so the best side facing is out is all you need. Giving each piece the space to shine to make all the difference. We kind of are making these little scenes and these little groups with an odd number. So 3, 5, usually those are the magic numbers are between 3 and 5 when you're styling. Again, it's a little bit funny, it's a little bit whimsical, but also functional. Sometimes you start with something and it just doesn't seem to work out, which was the case with this shelf. I started to put in different things, different ice buckets, a wicker wine holder for a picnic, and this beautiful glass ship piece. It just wasn't working. I wasn't really in love with the way that it looked. So started at the drawing board, started over, and just decided to let this be the shelf to hold the whole point of this whole endeavor, which is the good stuff for the bar. It just wasn't working, so just make what I have work. Started to move things around as far as color, bottle size, trying to make sure that everything's in alignment, centered, moving things to the front, moving things to the back, just playing around and feeling comfortable to make things spaced out in the best way possible. Another added benefit of having this on the shelf is it covers up some of the tiny little missing paint specks I have on that wall. I'll have to pull out a paintbrush this weekend to fix it. I'm thrilled with the way that this bar turned out. I think it's beautiful, functional. It shows how you can bring out these vintage pieces and these heirloom pieces, things that your family have given you over the years, and showing how they can become a part of your home and your everyday life. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you learned a little something, picked up a few different style tips, considered some things that you might not have considered before. Thank you for liking and subscribing, and I'll see you again soon.